Welcome to the morning after Wildcard week in the CFFL/Legends League. We'll get right away into the action that was in the past week. First of all, we had the Horn Dogs and the Bucks in a battle of the second and third highest scoring teams. Bucks take down the Horn Dogs 76 to 50.5. The number 3 seed Bruisers, who previously beat the Minotaurs the week before to win the division, fall this week 56 to 33. Team LBM and the Cardinals are off. Cardinals will now play the Minotaurs next week. Since this is the Minotaurs' first year in the CFFL, these teams have never met in the playoffs. And actually, I believe the Minotaurs are the one team I did not play this year, so this is our first meeting in the CFFL. And the Bucks and Team LBM have never played in the playoffs because this is the Bucks' first foray into the playoffs. In terms of the consolation round, it'll be Team Price is Right playing the Gargoyles and the Badgers Team Price is Right taking on the Dingoes, my apologies, and the Badgers taking on the Gargoyles. In the Legends League, in a nail biter, the Maulers take down the Dragons 63 to 62.5. Late in the game, Stephon Diggs with a big catch put them over the top. The Sasquatches needed a little bit of magic last night, a couple points anyway, from Tyler Lockett to pass the Bombers. They do, 51 to 47.5. Sasquatches meet the Cardinals. These two teams have met in the playoffs 4 other times before. The Cardinals are 3-1. All those matches were in the Super Bowl. The one time that wasn't in the Super Bowl, the Sasquatches did defeat the Cardinals, and then the Maulers and the Horn Dogs, who have never played in the playoffs, will meet. In the consolation round, it'll be Bullets versus Gunslingers and Donkeys versus Kongs there. So we will now get into the all-fantasy team, but in terms of the Legends League, it probably couldn't have asked for 4 teams that have probably been in the league and were more crucial there. Michael and I were some of the original members. Sasquatches came in pretty early on. We're one of the dominant teams for a long time. 4 out of 5 Super Bowls, I believe, you were in. Lost a 4. Did win a different Super Bowl. Horn Dogs started out slow in the league. Had some rough years, but ended up becoming one of the powerhouses and one of the most well-known teams, I guess, in the CFFL. You think of the CFL, you think of the Horn Dogs now. And they've become very good over the years here. So the 4 teams that are probably most representative of the league are in it, so it ended up pretty well. And will the fairy tale of Maulers versus Cardinals, Super Bowl 1 and Super Bowl 25 here, that'd be something. We'll see. I'm sure the Horn Dogs and the Sasquatches don't think it'd be such a fairy tale. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But on to the all-fantasy team. Quarterback, I think everyone knows, Patrick Mahomes for the Woodies and the Cardinals. 22.6 points. It's crazy because last year Russell Wilson had a good year, but Mahomes outscored him by 5 points a game. In general, you'll see everyone here pretty much was outscored from the year before. They outscored the year before, I'm sorry. Next up, Todd Gurley, again, top running back. Last year he averaged 11.5. This year, 17 for the Sasquatches and the Horn Dogs of the CFFL. In the CFFL, the Minotaurs and the Maulers, we had Alvin Kamara, again, for his second straight year being the RB2 in the all-fantasy team. Last year he averaged 10.5. This year, 13. Wide receiver 1 this year was Tyreek Hill with 10.7 for Team LBM and the Cardinals of this Legends League. Last year it was Antonio Brown with 10.5, so pretty close to last year. Antonio Brown this year averaged 10.4, which was up over last year's wide receiver 2, DeAndre Hopkins, at 9.2. Badgers and the Bombers were his teams in fantasy this year. And Devonta Adams at receiver number 3 at 10.3. Last year's receiver 3 was AJ Green with 7.7, so that was a huge difference there. Team Price is Right and the CFFL and the Legends League Cardinals had him. Flex this year was Saquon at 12.7. Last year it was a tie between Le'Veon and Mark Ingram at 9.3. Brand's Bullets in the Legends League and Team LBM in the CFFL had him. The only places we're going to see any regression this year from last year is at kicker. Last year's Erling had a year for the ages at 13.9 for me. This year, Kami Fairbairn for the Bruisers and the Maulers had 10.9. And finally, both Cardinal teams had the Bears defense at 7.6, not as good as last year's Jags at 8.8. One final thing before we go, we will take a look at the prize money so far. Like I said last week with the points, I earned that. In the CFFL, the Cardinals, Bucks, Minotaurs, and Team LBM each have won their money back at 75. And the Legends League, Cardinals, Horn Dogs, Sasquatches, and Maulers have each won 50. That'll go on. Also, the 5th place game, the Dragons versus the Bombers and the Horn Dogs versus the Bruisers will each be going on for 30, 40 bucks each in those leagues. So I have to take a look at the main page. I don't remember what it is exactly. But tune in next week to see how it all pans out. Like I said, the Legends League has kind of come down to what we couldn't imagine, I guess. Couldn't have predicted to be this way. So it ended up pretty cool. So thanks for tuning in, and good luck to everyone except you, Josh. I'm sorry. And you, Charlie. Sorry. I got to make my Super Bowls. Thanks a lot.